Well, hello to all of you out there in social media world. This is, yes, Brother Dana coming to you from Chicago, awaiting the major snowstorm that is supposed to hit us already. My area here in the city, Midway, is supposed to get 8 to 10 inches. Other places are supposed to get more. So it hasn't quite yet started. It's raining like everything, but hopefully it will stay there. But if not, I guess we're going to have a nice long winter. I also want to say a special thank you and appreciation out to all of my Hebrew brothers and sisters, even to those of you that don't necessarily find me your friend or are one of my supporters in a good way. I say thank you to you, and my appreciation for weathering everything that you've had to weather from my people, and just to be able to not go in and go postal as so often my white Gentile family members do after a couple of years of bullying. And I'm not trying to make light of anything, but just to think of how you have endured so much and yet refrain from a behavior, a massively destructive or just a destructive behavior, is amazing to me. And that's why I appreciate each and every single one of you. And I understand also those that do not bid me well. But in spite of your bidding and in spite of anything of your opinions and things that you send me, I was called to do this by the Most High. And I'm not going to sit down until He tells me to sit down and shut up. And what is to come, I don't fear, because if I'm in the hands of the Most High, I can't believe that any place He takes me is going to be a regret. And that is why I continue to do what I'm doing and why I have done what I have done for 24 years before you see me pop up here on YouTube. And that is to be an advocate of justice to my black brothers and sisters in this country, which now I know most of you are actually the chosen people of the Most High. And thank you to those that have reached out to me with encouragement emails, text messages. I want you to know that I take each and every single one of them with great humility and appreciation. And they mean so much to me. And I apologize that some of you that have written me longer emails, and I'm grateful for them. Sometimes you say, I'm so sorry I'm going so long, but I want to hear your stories. Your life is important to me. But please don't take it offensively if my response is short. Because I always want to try to acknowledge each and every single one of you that take the time to contact me, to let you know how much I appreciate that. But tonight, I saw a video. I put it on my Facebook page, and I'm going to try to connect it so it's here so you can watch it. But it was a video of people running next to, like, the wall. You saw the American flag in the background, running, and in some of the translation and stuff, I guess there were tear gas and rubber bullets being shot at the caravan of our fellow brothers and sisters who are coming from down south there. And in there, it also said, like, protect the children. And it makes me weep. If not on the outside, it makes me weep on the inside. Because I can't understand, I can, but I just cannot understand how most of my people, my white Gentile family members, want to call themselves followers of God or followers of Jesus Christ with the attitude that they have. And I wanted to read this one comment underneath this video, and it said, "Stupid people, what you expect if you try to go into a country illegally? Exactly like you broke into or break into someone's property." And I read that type of crap, and I see that type of attitude, And all I can do is say, wow, there's not even words for me to even be able to express that type of arrogance or pride that comes from somebody to say, what a bunch of stupid people. What do they expect if they break into a country illegally? It's like if you want to break in and steal somebody's property. My question is, how the hell did our ancestors get this country? Did we come and make friends? Did we come to be an asset? Did we come to be a team member? Did we come to join and say, hey, let's work together and make America great? We came here illegally and we took what we wanted through bloodshed, through devastation. And then yet today we want to have the audacity to tell other people who the hell they think they are to try to come into this country illegally and take something that doesn't belong to them, when I'm still trying to question you in who does this country belong to? Who did it belong to? And that is why my title of the message tonight is, White America, you build that wall. You better build that wall, and you better build it quick. Why? Because there's a philosophy that I was taught in my Christian walk, and even more so as a growing up in rural Minnesota, where the main jobs or what we were known for was our farming and our farms, not just dairy farms or hog farms, but grain farms. And I grew up learning from my family members who were farmers that the principle of you reap what you sow. And that is why some of my family members would look to say, see, we've made it because when we sowed our seeds, we walked the fields first of all and picked up the rock, and then we planted the seed, and then when the seed began to grow and sprout, we would walk those fields, and I did it for many summers, and we would by hand go down and pick up all those weeds for miles and miles and acres of acres. Why? Because my aunts and my uncles and the farmers in my family would tell me that if you want to produce a harvest that is great, you got to work the field, you got to use your hands, you got to pull those weeds, those rocks, and anything and everything that would hinder our seed of corn or bean from growing. Because when you do and you harvest it, the weeds haven't choked out some of your crop. The rocks hasn't caused the seed not to grow because they can't root themselves. And when they harvest it, there's not garbage that's being harvested with your crop, such as weeds, that brings down the price per bushel of your beans or corn when you go to sell it. So you put in the work knowing that you will reap what you sow and how you take care of what you sow. And yet my white evangelical family cannot or will not understand that same principle when it comes to what? How we have obtained this land, how we have kept this land, and how we have treated others who we have brought to this land and who we have kept from this land. And we don't think that at one point we're going to reap what we sow. Why is it even in the white Christian realm, especially the conservative ones, that say that America is going to suffer because of abortion and homosexuality? So you're saying to me that God is going to judge us because of those two sins while he completely overlooks the sin of murder, rape, slavery, and oppression? So I say, white America, you build that wall. Build it. And I'm going to give you a little bit of some dimensions, some stuff from the wall that was built around Jericho to protect them. And even to back up one step back, Galatians 6, 7, and 9 says, do not be deceived, for God is not mocked, For whosoever a man soweth, or whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh, flesh of pride, flesh of arrogance, flesh of superiority over everybody else, shall of the flesh reap corruption. It's all over. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap, if we not faint. In that due season, we knew every time, every season, fall came. Whether we were ready for that season to come or not, it came. And we would reap however we did as that journey went on in the growing of our fields and seeds in that process. And so I say, white America, you better build that wall. You better build it big. Because there was another city that built a wall and had a huge wall around it by the name of Jericho. And it says this in Joshua 6:20. So the people shouted with the priests, and they blew with the trumpets. And it came to pass, when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat. So that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him. And they took the city, and they utterly destroyed all that was in the city, both man and woman, young and old, and ox and sheep and ass, with the edge of the sword. See, the reality is this to my white family. You can go ahead and build that wall. But the reality check is this. We will harvest what we've sown, as we have believed, and as we teach and as we preach. And therefore, since we have lived also by the sword, we will die by that same sword. It even happened here in Jericho. So, let's look at this wall. It says that when they looked into this wall, it was a stone wall 11 feet high and 14 feet wide. At its top was a smooth stone slope, angling upward at 35 degrees for 35 feet, where it joined massive stone walls that towered even higher. It was virtually impregnable. But see, the issue to my white family members here, it's not about the physical wall. Because the physical wall will not protect us from the judgment to bring justice and to bring freedom to his people. Because see, Jericho was an obstacle in the way of the chosen people of the Most High to obtain the promises of their Father, that they would inhabit the promised land. Our pride and our arrogance, our physical wall, our rules, everything that we have put together, even President Trump wanting to do an army and a military in space. Great, go ahead, build it, do what you want to do. But the issue is none of that is going to stand in the way of the Most High fulfilling his promises. Number one, to get his people and to put them into freedom, which he had promised. And then number two, to give us what we have sown. Because the power of God, I put, is supernatural, beyond our comprehension. And see, sometimes that's what my people don't realize or haven't tapped into, is how powerful of God, Yah, that we say we serve. We go to church so often because we believe God is honored and that he should be honored when we walk into that church. We don't walk into that church because we actually submit our lives to him. And we also believe that God wouldn't bring this type of judgment upon us because he ordained white superiority. That was all a part of his plan. And that is why we think that we are impregnable. that we will never be defeated, that we will never be brought down, because we are the great white America. And Trump is there to make it obvious and allow us once again to make it obvious to who we are. Being politically correct is no longer necessary when it comes to how we view, how we speak, and about you, my black brothers and sisters. But again, America, white America, you can build that wall. But remember, Jericho had a wall that was much greater than the wall that you're about to build. And if it didn't protect them from fulfilling the promises of the Most High to his people, do you really think this wall is going to protect us today? Do you really think anything is going to protect us? Because the problem is not what's on the outside of the great white America. The problem is what's on the inside. And even Yeshua, or Jesus Christ, made it very clear to the Pharisees that it's not about you being these nice robed white, because he said you are whitewashed sepulchres, whitewashed toilets. The inside of you is filth. And that is why I'm going to reject you. That is why white America is going to be rejected, because number one, we've enslaved the people of the Most High, and so we're going to reap what we have sown unto them. And number two, we haven't repented and take a look at our own filth that lies within inside of us, and to repent and to change and now repay those that we have done wrong to. So the issue again is not what's on the outside of America. It's what's here on the inside. Do I fear? I do not fear. Because long before I came into this truth, the Most High told me to study Joshua and to study the book of Joshua. And in that, he told me that all the days of my life, no one would be able to stand up against me. As I was with Moses, he said to Joshua, so I will also be with you, my son. And that is why even those of you that don't like what I do or have issues with what I'm doing, I'm okay with that. Because the Most High has promised me years ago that he would never allow anyone to stand up against me all the days of my life if I'm doing what he has asked me to do. And that's why I know no one will be able to stand up against you, my Hebrew brothers and sisters, when your due season comes, because the promise is that the promised land is for you, and I get to go because of you. So if that promise he has made to me, I know he's definitely made it for you, because I know where I'm going. I'm going with you. Just like Rahab. Just like Rahab. She said that she had heard of the great things, and even the people in the city of Jericho knew, and that's why they shut all the doors and they shut down, because they were fearful for what they knew was coming. And my white family evangelicals are going to do the same, as you see it already. They're not understanding what it means, what is coming, but they know something is wanting to change, putting them in a place they don't want to go, nor will they willingly go, which is submission to anybody other than themselves. My people don't know how to submit, and that's why they don't really know what it means to even submit to God anymore. Their God, Yeshua, Jesus Christ. And yes, I use these different terms because my videos are used for different groups of people. And if I speak only Yah and Yeshua, then my white Gentiles, when they begin to open up their hearts to be at least listen to these videos, they'll know who I am talking to and about when I say Yah, God, Yeshua, Jesus Christ. So be encouraged, my Hebrew brothers and sisters. And thank you so much that I get to tag along. And that is why, like Rahab, I am willing to do whatever the Most High calls me to do. She was asked to hide your ancestors. Right now, I'm not being asked to hide you. But at this point in my life, I'm called to declare you. But for the first 24 years, I was called to advocate, to learn, to understand, to do whatever the Most High asked me to do to bless who I now know is his chosen people. So I'm not cleaving onto you now simply because I don't want to face what others in my heritage are going, or in my white family are going to face. If I was only going to hold on to you for safety, I would have skipped the first 24 years of the hell that I've gone through from both sides of my family members in living and ministering and advocating and standing up for justice for those in my community, in my youth groups that came to the church, that walk into my school classrooms. I did it because I saw injustice and it broke my heart. But now I understand where that injustice comes from. It's because you're the chosen people of the Most High. And now, not only am I going to fight for justice, not only am I going to advocate, not only will I hide you if I need to or speak up for you now as I am doing, but I will do whatever the Most High tells me to do. And I know, like Rahab, and if that means I have to be a servant or a slave amongst the chosen people of the Most High, who then will be set in a path of righteousness, hey, have I not been serving for these first 24 years? Has it been great? It's been the opposite of great, but it's been an honor and it's been a privilege, as it is now. And so in closing, I want to say again to my white family members, go ahead, build that wall. You better build that wall. You need more than a wall, but go ahead and do whatever you feel necessary to protect your white supremacy. But see, even your God is not restricted or constricted to a wall or to anything that we think we can put our hands to build or to make or to create. But on the other side, to my black brothers and sisters who know and will come to know that you are the chosen people of the Most High, be encouraged to know that nothing that my family members, my white family members are doing are going to keep you from entering into your promised land, into freedom, outside of oppression, outside of white supremacy, into a place of justice, and then into a place where you will rule as kings and queens, as you were created to by the very hands of the Most High. So, one thing I also want to say to you, and I'm closing, is I have a webpage right here, onelovesociety.love. That's onelovesociety.love. One of the things I want to do, you can contact me on there, and please do so. Please contact me on there. Also, if you want to pick up a One Love t-shirt and support the movement, please do. You can order them online. But one of the things I really want to do is I'm going to have a tab on there, because I am blessed to get various Hebrew brothers and sisters coming to me with music that they have written, clothing that they are creating and making, and all kinds of Hebrew ministers and congregations. And I get lots of people that email me asking me, do you know somebody here that I can join a congregation? Do you know somebody here that their eyes are open to the truth? And what I want to do with my website is I want to have a tab where people can, such as yourself, can go to this tab and find fellowships. They can find teachings on YouTube. They can listen to some of my brothers and sisters and buy the music that you are creating, the clothing that you are making, so that we can support the family of the Most High, so that we can support each other, so that our finances can go to each other with the things that the Most High has given us to be able to make and to create and to sell. So if you are somebody out there, I don't care if you're a doctor, I don't care if you're a lawyer, a teacher, a pastor, you're selling t-shirts. I'm not in competition with those that are selling t-shirts. I don't care if somebody says, hey, One Love t-shirt's pretty cool, but man, I like this brother's t-shirts. That's all right. Because my blessing comes from the Most High. He provides for me. He has to provide for me. Because if he doesn't provide for me, I will have nothing. And so I'm not in competition. I'm not trying to get somebody to buy my t-shirt over BB, who's the guy that created my logo. And I bought some of his shoes, and he's featured on my website. Do you think I'm going to be sad that somebody would like his clothes better than my t-shirt and buy his shirt? That I'm going to lose out on a blessing from the Most High because somebody bought something other than mine? No. I have to believe that the Most High is going to provide for me to do the work that he's called me to do. And it may be through somebody like you buying a t-shirt. It may be from one of you making a donation and supporting the work that I do. Right now, it's also through the job that I work. I just know that the Most High has been faithful. And if he's been faithful to me as one that was not originally and is not his true chosen, I can't wait to see your faces and all that when you start to live where you don't have to face oppression and turmoil and torture and fear on a daily, moment by moment basis. That you can live your life in freedom, enjoying the promises of the Most High due to your faithfulness and his love for you. So to my Hebrew brothers and sisters, please hold on. Please hold on and know that your redemption to freedom is so close that even my people are building a wall and creating a space force to fight against what they really don't recognize is the very hand of the Most High, Yah. Thank you so much for tuning in. And may you be blessed richly in the favor, the grace, and love of the Most High, Yah. Shalom.